Greetings, fellow creatures of the night. Welcome back to the realm of JD. And it is great to see each and every one of you again, like always. Alright, today, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about some music. Yeah, we're going to talk about some Sutra. Aren't you excited? I'm excited. I have indeed had the chance to listen to this album. It's called At the Gates. It is a collection of home demos, and yes, I've had the chance to listen to it in its entirety. And I'm going to go a bit in depth with this album because I feel that a lot of songs are important to what this album is delivering here. You know, so we start off, and you guys are probably, for those of you who watch all my album reviews, probably fucking sick and tired of me saying this, but for those of you who haven't seen my reviews, I'll say it anyway. Intro tracks are important to me because it gives me a little step, or like an opening door, or an introduction into what I'm getting into here. That's why they call it an intro. Holy shit, mind blown. Okay, okay, so we start with the intro track, and I sincerely apologize if I'm not pronouncing this right. We start with the intro track, Petrichor. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Petrichor. It's a smooth acoustic start, and it's a special way to step into this abandoned paradise of these storage demos. I love the sound that the 12-string guitar produces. Might I say, it's one of the most beautiful sounding instruments of all time. 12-string guitar is probably one of my favorites next to a typical grand piano. It's a great song. It's the 12-string really gives this track a real like Led Zeppelin kind of ballad. It's got the Zeppelin ballad feel in the style of like a Nirvana home demo. And I hate to compare newer bands to more famous bands, but like I feel that comparisons sometimes help deliver what I am trying to say. By the way, for those of you who don't know Sutra, they are they kind of mix psychedelic rock with blues and a bit of doom metal, kind of stoner metal sort of vibe. They kind of fuse those three sort of styles in whatever way they can. They are based in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, and I will link their Bandcamp in the description below. So we start, okay, so we got through the intro song, and then we get into the song At the Gates. I really enjoyed the dark lyricism I really like dark lyricism that's subtle, but, it's dark and it's powerful, but it's subtle at the same time because of the way it's sung. It has a really bluesy, like Delta blues kind of vibe, like, you know, really like, you think of Robert Johnson and the kind of stuff that he was doing. It was really dark and, like, it was really powerful, you know, really bluesy, you know, it's like, yeah, like Matt's vocals, smoothly flow with the 12-string guitar through most of the song, especially with the hook, or what you should call the chorus. It has a really suspense build-up before entering the gates of hell, but at the same time it's sort of an acceptance because of the tone of the music, you know. I admire the concept of using the guitar as a percussion instrument as well, which was shown towards the end of the song, where he's kind of just tapping on the guitar as he's playing, which is, you know, it's pretty cool. It really, again, feeds into that Delta blues kind of vibe. We then go into the song, And So It Goes. This was one of my personal favorites off of this album. This is a home demo that sounds like a fucking Alice in Chains early 90s grunge ballad. The 12-string guitar, once again, sounds absolutely astonishing. Also, it's also got a bit of a Porcupine Tree, Light Bulb Sun sort of vibe, which is pretty cool. It's really smooth, you know, it's really trippy. We then get to the song Midnight Macabre, and this is a fairly decent track. I liked the lyrics the most in the song. It has a very similar sort of style to At the Gates, once again using the guitar as a percussion-like instrument, which is pretty cool and definitely complements the song. Um, After that, we get into One of Three. Man, this one was really cool. I really got like a Pearl Jam vibe. Like it kind of like their album Versus. I really got like that kind of vibe from this album. Even Matt, he had sort of a Eddie Vedder kind of accent, kind of sporting in his voice. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool. I love the change in pace with the 12-string guitar. It really this was again an awesome track. Highly recommend if you're gonna listen to one song off this album. This is one of them that I would choose. Um, the next song is Ammo, which is the first track on this album that introduces a bit of a heavier, more electric sound, which is a good change of pace, once again. Very grungy, the dirty distortion with the phasey, clean guitar sounds really cool. There's when I say that, there's two guitars going on. There's the dirty, distorted guitar and the phasey, clean guitar, and they're both kind of going at the same time. And that can either sound really fucking cool or really fucking messy. And this sounds really fucking cool, and I totally dug it. Um, it's very raw sounding, which I love. It progresses straight into the next song, which is called "Evil Is My Name," and Matt's voice in this song is very Jim Morrison-like in this track. If you ever listen to The Doors, if you haven't, do check them out. They are essential. Um, this is one of my favorites off the album. I liked the phasey guitars, really flangey, kind of phasey sort of guitars. It really adds to that whole psychedelic sort of element. Might I add some sweet soloing on this one? You don't hear a lot of guitar solos up until this track, and there's some really good guitar solos going on here. It was absolutely awesome. The next song is Wait on Me, which is a bit of a softer track. Evil Woman is pretty good. It gives me sort of a Black Label Society vibe. And again, I apologize if I'm constantly comparing this to other bands, but like you can definitely catch like the influences on here, and like if somebody out there says like, "Hey man, I want something that sounds like Black Label Society," well, I'll say if you like Black Label Society, check out Evil Woman by Sutra. You know, that's why I do this comparison here. But I do love the combination of the 12-string and the rather subtle distorted guitar, complementing yet the background of the song rather than standing in front of everything. Well, Matt's vocals and the slide on the 12-string really highlight the track. It's the main focus of the track, which is a change of pace and a change of direction on the album, which is really cool. Long Distance Trip is another favorite of mine off of this album. I truly got like a desert vibe from this one. Imagine being stranded in your own illusions while you're walking down a desert road, and you're in this hope that you'll make it back to reality. Um, this song, at least that's how I felt when I heard this song. I don't know how you guys are gonna feel when you listen to it. You all have your own minds. I have my own mind. You have your own minds. Some of you may think alike, some of you may not. But yeah, it was a really good song. Newfound Correlation introduces some new sounds added to the mix, which I really dig. Antiseptic is a bit of a darker sounding tune, but it's energizing at the same time. Um, Kerosene, I think, is the next song. Kerosene is the true epitome of mastering the art of the home demo. This is a real unplugged home demo Nirvana sort of vibe. You know, it's like I really I really dig that he was, or that they were able to produce that same sort of feel and recapture that Nirvana home demo magic, because Nirvana really made home demos cool. You know, a lot of their home demos are some of their best songs, if in my opinion. The average mainstream fan will say like shit like Smells Like Teen Spirit and stuff. But if you go and listen to their home demos, that's where you hear all the magic. And you can tell that Sutra is really influenced by those like those Nirvana and those grungy kind of acoustic demos and stuff, and even the harder stuff, the grunge stuff. You know, it's like you can hear like all these influences, and I really respect that they incorporate those influences into their sound. Um, I think Under Your Skin was a decent track. Free Range Warfare was short, but it was cool, you know, nice and bluesy, great guitar fills. Generation Now was more of an uplifting track. Again, the combination of the distorted guitar with the acoustic guitar created a beautiful harmonization of both guitars. And then we sort of hit, I like to call this, well, when I listen to this album, I do sort of get like a story or concept vibe off of it. I don't really know if that was the intentions of this album, but or if it was trying to even tell a story. Maybe it was just a collection of home demos. But I really got a story off of it. You know, it's and then like this was like kind of the climax, even though it's towards the end, and it's a really great way to begin the end of the album. This song, excuse me, this song is called Goodbye, Good Night. And once again, it is a truly beautiful way to begin the end of this album. Not many albums have actual outros, but this was a great, an awesome way to say goodbye to what you simply have left of your old life before, like right before you're about to, those gates of hell are opening and you are about to enter it. And now you step into these gates and you're introduced to the next song, Fire, which I hate to toot my own horn, but I actually had the honor of playing the keyboards and doing the background vocals on this track. It was a fun track to help out with, and a really climactic way to enter these gates. It's like you've spent most of the album at the gates, building up the suspense of entering hell, and you're reflecting on whatever you had left in your life, and you're holding on to it. You're holding on. You're trying not to let go, but then you know the blues comes in. You get the blues, and you enter this state of acceptance. You know, you're at those gates, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to hell. Just open the fucking gates, and then you enter hell, and you enter hell with the song Fire, and it's what I like about it is that it's not giving away too much. Like, you've just entered these gates, and like at the end of the fucking album, you've just entered, so it kind of ends on a bit of a climax. You're still anticipating what's ahead of you, and you're anticipating the darkness that is waiting for you as you enter the gates. It's like a movie when you know there's going to be a sequel, you're about to die, and you finally reach the afterlife, you open the doors, you step in, you take a look around, and BAM! The movie ends. I like that. I like ending on a high note. Sometimes I like to come to full closure, but with albums, I love stuff like this. All in all, I really enjoyed this album, and I thought it subtly and indirectly told a beautiful, dark, and climactic story, without giving away too much. The 12-string guitars produced a beautiful sound on most of the tracks. All in all, I really like the idea of being at the gates, and then again, this is strictly my interpretation of what I think of when I listen to this, but yeah, how about you guys give it a listen and tell me what your own thoughts and your own views on this album are. How do you interpret it? How do you interpret it? I fucked up. I fuck up my lines. I don't edit them. I just keep fucking talking. How do you interpret them? How do you view At the Gates? What are the gates to you? Because to me, they're the gates of hell. To you, they could be fucking ponies, or I don't know, man. Again, you all have your own minds. But yeah, I highly recommend this album. I will link it in the description below. I am the one and only JD, Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.